Okay, welcome everyone to Talking on the Wild Side. My name's Steve, and this is a new podcast channel talking to guests about their passion for the outdoors. So today's guest is a good friend, and we've communicated through YouTube for a while. And this is Dave from DA Outdoors. Welcome, Dave.
Hi Steve, you okay?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice
Good.
to finally speak to you rather than just tapping away on a keyboard.
I know. So this is big tester for the first podcast video I'm actually going to put out here. So I'm just going to kick off with what is your specialist subject in the outdoors?
So mainly I do a bit of wild camping, but mainly it's hiking, really. Hiking in the I'm blessed here where I live in the Fylde Coast in England. I'm blessed with many areas where I can go walking. I've got the Lake Districts, I've got the Yorkshire Dales, I've got the Forest of Bowland, which is probably the nearest, which is about three-quarters of an hour away, but mainly the Lake District.
It's beautiful down there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I have to put my hand up and say it's been a long, long time since I've been down there because I specialise in Scotland. I don't go over the border. Yes, I
Yeah.
know. Sorry about that. But yeah, I have passed through there many times and it is stunning, even just driving through it.
Oh, it's fantastic, yeah. And unlike what you have there up in Scotland, it's on a much smaller scale. So it's not
Yeah.
we can do many a hill in a walk, whereas yourself you could have a 10-mile walk before you even start going up.
You're right. You're right. I mean, you can pick off quite a few different hills all in a circuit, but Scotland, you're kind of up and
Exactly.
down all the time. So what's your setup for sort of wild camping? What tent do you use?
So I first started wild camping about 2, 3 years ago. I'm quite new to all the outdoor thing actually. I only started hiking myself probably 6 years ago. Um, I did have a Helm one that I got second hand, but recently I did do the African Tailway earlier on this year, beginning of May, and I purchased um, the 3FUL gear, the Lancham 2. What a fantastic tent. Absolutely fantastic.
Did that
So,
prove good in all weathers?
oh yeah, superb. Because I walk with hiking poles anyway, so it's not that I had to have to carry the poles to put the tent up. And it's the first time I've ever used a two-man tent, and it's the palace. It's an absolute palace.
That's
Just so
brilliant.
much room. You don't have to put anything in vestibules. You can have it everything in the tent and still have loads of room to mess around with. And yeah, absolutely, such a good purchase, and
Brilliant.
not expensive either. For anyone looking to getting into wild camping, I think I paid £110, and that
That's
was
a good price.
brand new.
Wow. Wow. I think
So
that's what the big fear of people that want to get into wild camping is the expense. And I keep
definitely,
shouting it out that it doesn't have to cost a fortune.
no. Even the good brands and the good tents, you can get, as I say, £110, and it's a well-known brand. It's used by many people on out there in the wild. So yeah, if anyone's looking for a very good budget tent, then get on the Landshark too.
Yeah. And you're saying that was a brand new one. So if you're talking second hand, you're
Oh, you can probably pick them up for
yeah.
30 or 40 quid, and that was the 100. That was the new model, the 2026 model. So it's been going around for years, I think. So yeah, I could thoroughly recommend that. Anybody looking to get into wild camping, the
Brilliant.
Landshark 2 is a great starter tent.
Yeah. And so have you got anything? So out of that, when you're talking like basics, well, not basic stuff, but reasonably priced stuff, what's your other setup? What do you sleeping bag and
So
rucksack?
uh, the I think probably the thing I paid most for was the sleeping mat. And that was probably more than the tent. That's the Big Agnes Rapid SL, I think it is. Again, I think that came in about £120. So as I say, it was pretty much the price of the 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do like that. That is really, really comfortable. Again, I fully recommend it. Sleeping bag, I've got a 3 Seasons OEX, the Fathom, I think it is. A grey and yellow in colour. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then I've just got a cheap, I think the 4 Class pillar from Decathlon.
Yeah. So
So yeah, so my tent and my sleep system probably don't even come to 300 quid.
yeah, yeah. It seems to be that the older we get, you the kind of you prioritize where your comfort and things go.
Actually, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm not far away from you. I got a decent air mat, which mine is the Big Agnes Zoom UL.
All right, okay.
It's a great one, and that's and a decent sleeping bag. So there's kind of like three things you need. It's like your
Yeah,
a decent tent, your sleeping bag, and your roll mat or your air mat.
yeah. I think you've got to be comfortable when you're asleep. You've got to be
Yeah,
comfortable. If you don't, the wind and the weather and all that Mother Nature throws at you is going to try and make you have a poor night's sleep. So you've got to try your level best to counteract her, and uh, and do your level best to have some decent stuff to give yourself a decent night's kit.
absolutely.
You don't
There's not
need you don't need a stove. You don't need a stove. You can take sandwiches, but what you need is a comfortable night's sleep.
bit of comfort. Imagine going back to the sort of like little foam roll mats we used to have that were probably like
Oh
a
yeah,
not even a centimeter thin.
I know.
So moving on from that is like what kind of when you go on your hike, do you ever forget anything? What's the kind of area you forget things? And I'm talking about things that you would put in your rucksack.
Yeah. So last week I went on a hike, and I did forget my water filter. I often forget my water filter. Um, I'm not a big one for the water bladders.
Yeah,
Um, I prefer if I know I'm going somewhere where I know I'm going to have a decent water supply naturally. I do prefer to take my water filter so I can fill the water filter, and so I'm not carrying that weight really. Trying to keep the weight down, if anything. So, but I often forget it. I often
yeah.
forget it.
There is a lot of water filters on the market, and I know you can get cheap ones, middle range, and obviously quite
Yeah,
expensive ones. What kind of you dealing with?
I've got the Catadin B3.
Right.
I love it. It's brilliant. The only slight faults I have with it is if you haven't used it for a while, the filter clogs up and you have to spend a couple of hours kind of swishing it through and
Right.
filling it up and squeezing it through until you get a
Yeah.
decent water flow.
Yeah.
And this isn't anything against the product. This was me. If I was to buy it again, I got the 600 ml one. If I was to buy it again, I'd have gone for the litre one.
Right.
So it's just that the fact is, although it fits 600 ml of water in, but by the time you get to the last bit,
Yeah.
it's hard to squeeze that last bit out. So it's really a 500 ml, if
Is
that
that
makes
like a
sense.
is that like a pressure thing you're pushing through the
It's just a squeezy bottle, but once
oh,
it
all right.
once you've squeezed most of the
Aye.
water out,
Yeah.
when you've only got the dregs at the bottom, you
Aye.
can't. It's difficult to squeeze that bit out. So I would say a 600 is actually gives you kind of 500 ml.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I get
Does
you
that
now.
make
Aye.
sense? Yeah.
You can't get the last bit out because
Can't
you're
get the
it's
last bit
not
out.
aye, aye, aye. I know
Yeah.
what you're saying now, yeah. Um so if you could change things in nature, what would they be? With all your wild camps, what do you see that you could probably change?
I think we all say the same. Especially there's certain areas of the Lake District. The litter can be a real problem, especially on the popular hills and the popular areas in the Lake District. Raven Crag, which is up near Thirlmere in the Central Fells, a lovely little fell, absolutely fantastic views, easy to get up to, but with the ease of being able to get up to, it just can attract the wrong people.
Yeah.
When I was up there 6 months ago, oh Steve, it was disgusting to see. To be honest,
Yeah.
it was like a landfill tip up there.
Aye,
Just
it's
abandoned
such a
tents, just bags of rubbish, plastic bottles. Not even fire pits. They'd actually like sawn trees off and
yeah,
burnt
yeah,
big logs. It was awful to see really, and there's signs up there that say no camping. People just ignore them. I mean, we haven't got the same rules unfortunately down here as wild camping, but yeah, Lake District big enough that you can go somewhere where you can just be out of the way, not bothering anybody. You don't have to go up to these small fells and just trash the place. Basically,
yeah,
it's terrible to see. So that's the biggest thing I would change.
yeah. It's it's a very disturbing situation because I mean, we've got it here as well. It's rife. It's everywhere. When you go out, that you do find rubbish, and
Yeah,
mostly when I do wild camping, even with my big brother or my daughter, we kind of do a bit of a litter pick. And
yeah,
you're not even touching the sides, but you feel like you're contributing to something that's quite rewarding.
yeah,
But I know what you're saying when you see people that have lit a fire on grass. No need for it. You could have just moved
no.
it down onto the beach or onto the stones or something, and it made it.
In this day and age, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it. Camping. Like going back to price of equipment, camping stoves aren't expensive. There's really no excuse for it.
Yeah, and it just so happens that we were talking about that question there. That when you see the wildfires that have just gone on from the
Yeah,
Cairngorms right down to south, and I don't actually know. I don't know if they've ever told you the source of most of these things. I know they do a survey in various parts of the country, but I don't know how the Cairngorms has started.
yeah,
But we've all got a reasonable part to play in whatever we're doing when we're
yeah.
outdoors,
Because
isn't it?
even, I mean, even if it was only needs a broken bottle and a bit of broken glass in the grass, and if the sun's powerful enough and that bit of glass is at the right angle, you've got your perfect. I mean, going back to when we were kids at school and we were all with magnifying glasses
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
start fires in the playground and everything. So,
That's it. It can be devastating, and as we've seen, and the
yeah,
amount of rubbish that gets picked. Most YouTubers have always done a little bit. The ones that we
yeah,
see today, they've all done a bit on rubbish,
yeah,
and it's heartbreaking when you're doing your hike, especially a multi-day hike like you were doing the African Tail Way.
yeah.
You can't pick it up because there's nowhere to dump it, and
No,
it's
exactly.
kind of it's you walk past it and you feel guilty for walking
Yeah.
past it in the first place, don't you? So
Dude,
it makes you
and
feel like you're to blame for it.
I'll try my best if I can even if I can pick up, I'll pick up one bottle and have to walk past another 10. At least if you picked up one, you've got space. We just put it in the pack until you come up against a bin. Not so bad. The only thing I won't pick up is I won't pick up any tissues or anything like that
Ah,
because, but
yeah.
which breaks my heart to see, but you just can't run the risk, can you?
It's probably something that we've been educating people for years, and it has to be a constant, ongoing thing.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if a lot of councils are taking away rubbish bins now because they want you to take your rubbish home. It's kind of their way of saying we don't have the resources to keep picking rubbish up and coming out to these rural car parks to take it
yeah,
away. So please carry it away. But then that's why people are dropping it in the first place. So it's a bit of a balance, and it's just something.
yeah. It's a vicious circle,
It
isn't it?
is. It totally is, and it's. I mean, I carry everything, and I kind of show people how I pack my rubbish away. Even when I take a can of fruit or soup or something just for that
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
you try and squash it up. Yes, it's if you
exactly.
put it in like a zip bag that's
Yeah,
sealable, and it does leak a bit of excess soup or liquid or whatever, it's going to go in the bag. It's not
yeah.
going to
That's
spill
what
over
I
you.
do. I just take a Ziploc bag like that for anything rubbish, and if you haven't got anything, if you've just got coffee sachet wrappers, you can squeeze that down into literally nothing, can't you?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. So other question is, have you ever been on an adventure and something has completely stopped you in your tracks? I mean, on a wow moment.
Uh,
That's a difficult one because you've done quite a bit. You've been in many, not
yeah,
bragging, but Scotland sounds pretty good.
yeah. I've done I've done the West Island Way and the African Tailway. What stops us in our tracks? Um, Nothing that stands out, to be honest. Um, Bog and river crossings. No, I mean not so much on the African Tailway and West Island Way, but yeah, on many a hike, you've got to a point where you've plotted a route, um, and you come up against a river that you didn't think was quite as wide as you didn't think it was going to be quite as wide as what it is. I can remember me and my friend were on a hike last year sometime. We were going to one of the real outlying fells, because I don't just stick to the Wainwrights. I do all the other outlying fells that nobody goes to. And there was a footbridge marked on the map. And when we got to the footbridge, all we had was the stone pillar our side and the stone pillar the other side, and and nothing nothing in between. We did see remnants of what looked like metal bridge kind of stanchions, but they were anyway. We had to, and I think we had to walk a good couple of hundred meters upstream before we could find a narrower place to cross. And even then, it was a bit of a hurdle. So mainly that sort of thing, really. It's just when you get to streams and when you look on Google Maps, it looks easy, and then when you actually get there on the ground, it's totally different.
Totally different. Yeah, I've been there as well. I had to cross a river, but I thought there was a bridge, and they showed a bridge on the map, and it was knee deep. So I had to take my boots and put them round my neck as you do, tie the laces, and wade across this river with a couple of branches. It was up to my knees, and I was like, oh, because I couldn't cross it anywhere else.
Oh
It was
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
completely gone.
I don't
And it
know.
looked
I don't know whether people know that there is. I don't, if anybody out there uses OS Maps, there is the option now on OS Maps. If you get to a point where there's an issue, like a fallen tree or a blocked track or a bridge that's down, you can actually there and then mark it
right.
as and you can put like put bridge out or something like that, and that and then they do appear when people are looking to plot a route. It does appear, but you have to do it there and then when you're there because it's
Right.
kind of like a geotagging thing. You can't
Aye.
wait until you can't wait until you come home and put it and
Right.
mark it. Then you've got to do it while you're there. But
I actually have OS maps, and I've never known about that feature, so good to point it out.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
if anybody's got some of the other kind of mapping systems, I would probably say that it might be worth a look. They might
Yeah,
have that
possibly.
on it as well, eh?
I know it's certainly in OS Maps. It's quite a new thing, probably 12, 18 months,
Oh,
but it
right.
is there.
Okay.
Yeah, it is there.
Um, so where are some of the places you would go back to?
Um, well, I don't know whether anybody out there's seen my African tail way videos. I would do that trail in a heartbeat. Absolutely, what a stunning trail! It just from the you just when it starts, you've got a different. So the first couple of days are more forestry tracks, and it's just building you up and building you up and building you up, and then you get to kind of Dog Falls there, and then after that it's just bang, and it just gets better and better and better until you reach Morvick. So I would I would do that again. I could easily put aside a week every year to do that.
Wow. That's good.
Um,
That's good to know.
yeah, I love that trail. I really I could recommend the African Tailway to anyone, and it's a perfect starter for a multi-day hike. I would think.
You've just answered that question. I was just about to ask, how did you feel that would be for somebody that's starting out?
Oh,
It's perfect.
perfect. Um, we did it over 4 days, so I've seen people do it. I've seen people do it over two. I've seen people do it over three. We did it over four, and basically the way we planned it, every day got shorter. So our day one Um, Pardon my pronunciation to any Scottish people. Drumnadrochit to
Yeah.
Cannock. That was our longest day. And then after that, they were just, I think that was came in about 15. And then it was a 15, a 14, a 12, and an 11, I think. But perfect because you've got the first night was a campsite, second night and third night was a wild camp. But the third night we camped by Altbeef Youth Hostel. So even then, you had that anybody who's kind of anxious about being in the wilds on their own. The youth hostel was a few hundred meters away. So, and then obviously the last night you're into Morvik and you're at the campsite again. So, yeah, perfect, perfect.
That's brilliant. So you can get like there is a campsite at Drumnadrochit, and then at the end there's another
There is
campsite so you can.
there is a campsite run the Drocket, but we actually stayed in a youth hostel called One Loch Ness Hostel, I think it was, right in the town centre. And I think it was £60 for the night, so £30 each, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It meant that we were starting the trail on the first morning with all dry kit. As it happened, we started on the Tuesday morning. The Monday night it rained, so if we'd have on the campsite, we'd have been starting with wet tents and everything like that. So fully recommend again the youth hostel there,
Yeah.
right in the centre of
You got
Drumnadrochit.
you got a really good start for the day.
Exactly.
Well, I was watching your African Tailway trail, and it's one that I've never done. I mean, I've not done a lot of trails, but I just dot my camping all over the place.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it is beautiful, and I do agree that when it's getting better and better
yeah.
as you go on.
I've seen people who purposely start in Cannock and don't do that first section between the drum and I'd if I was to just do the full trail because it builds you up, and as you're walking, you're starting to see the Glen Affric, Munros starting to appear on the horizon. You just that anticipation's building and building and building, and it just keeps you going. So, yeah,
That's
fully
brilliant.
recommend.
I did like the bit where you were touching and you were talking about your dad. Is it you
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
your
yeah.
dad had done that trail and that you
Yeah,
were
we stayed up in Cannock about 5 years ago now when Dad could walk, do his walking, and we stayed. We had a cottage, holiday cottage there, so we did the full circuit of Loch Affric, but we also did two of the Glen Affric Munros. Is it Talmahonic and Tol Griach or something?
right.
Something
No,
like
that's
again.
good.
Forgive my pronunciation.
I think I'm with you on that one. Being Scottish, I still find them hard to pronounce, so I kind of put my hand up before I even say anything. Excellent. So what do you feel is one of the most important outdoor skills somebody should be learning?
um, Personally, I do believe navigation, the basics of how to use a map and a compass. Um, I mean, I'll hold my hand up now. I use OS Maps. I plot my route before we go. I download it. In fact, I find plotting my route nearly as enjoyable as actually doing the walk itself. I
Yeah,
find it really interesting trying to plot a route, but I have got that backup of a map and compass um, in the pack to know that if anything um, goes wrong with my phone or drop it or it runs out of battery. I do take battery banks, but if there's a problem with it, but I have got a map and a compass, and I've got that backup that, and I know how to use. I know how to use the basics, and possibly know how to not necessarily fully understand a map, but maybe understand contours.
yeah,
Um, and know how the contour lines work, so you know that lines close together is a steep drop or a steep ascent, and so you can. I mean, we all do it. We plot a route, but sometimes we have to go off piece, or sometimes we think we can maybe do a route that doesn't take as much steep ascent or steep descent.
Yeah.
So just know how to use a map of the compass just in emergencies, and certainly understand how contour lines work.
No, that's good. I think there's so many things that we should learn, and we kind of prioritize what we feel we need to learn first. You know, somebody might be skilled at map reading already, so they
Yeah,
might find something else that's a priority.
yeah,
But yeah, each
yeah.
to their own. But I mean, that's I mean, it's good life lessons to learn as map reading, I think.
And
Um,
it's the real basics. It's the silver 1, 2, 3 method.
yeah,
So, when you there's, I think I learned it. There's an 8-minute video on YouTube, um, and you only have to watch it maybe twice, and you kind of understand about how it works. I
yeah,
mean, obviously, with my watch here, I press a button and it gives me my grid reference, so I know where I am on the map, and then I go from there. But yeah, I think it's quite important. I really do, and it's interesting as well. I love looking at maps. I can spend hours just looking at maps.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got loads for all over Scotland, and mostly take my trails. Sometimes when I plot my route, I actually print them all out on A4 paper
I
and
I
carry
do
them
that.
with me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
just
that.
for
So,
more like a
yeah,
trail, more like for the trails and things like that, you know.
yeah.
So, hammock, tent, bivvy, tent box, or camper van.
Oh, tent, tent
Tent.
all day long. I don't think I'd be able to get in a hammock, and if I could get in it, I don't think I'd be staying in it. So tent all day long. Bivvy, bivvy. If you can guarantee me it's not going to chuck it down with rain, I'll bivvy. But and as I say, I haven't got a camper van. But I'd go tent. I'd go
Yeah,
tent.
yeah, I'd agree. I've never stayed in a tent box, even though they look quite cool. There's
Yeah,
something saying to me, it looks a bit of a novelty, but it looks a bit hassle when you have to take it on and off the car. I think I was talking to
yeah,
someone
yeah,
about
yeah,
that before. But
yeah.
yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I do have a hammock, a couple of hammocks, and they are fantastic. But yeah, tents are pretty cool anyway.
And another little bit of advice, what I would say, as we're talking about heat waves and what have you, go out in the middle of summer and you get really hot temperatures and you find it difficult to sleep, get your tent, pitch it in the back garden, you'll have a cracking night's sleep.
That's it. It's a good way to test a wild camp, a
Yeah,
camp
yeah.
in a
And
tent.
it was nice and cool sleeping in the tent in the
I,
garden.
I've actually done that a few times. Not in a bivvy, but in a or anything like that, but just in the tent, just generally
Yeah.
just throw it up.
Yeah,
It's
good
I
way of
did do
keeping
it.
cool.
I didn't film it, mine, but I did actually uh, done it a few times.
Yeah,
But well, Dave, we're coming to the end of our first
I've
podcast.
enjoyed it.
Just wanted to say thanks very much for doing
Oh,
that.
thank you for inviting.
Um, what else? What's your next adventure to give people an insight what you do?
Well, I'm currently in the process of uh, getting all the Wainwrights bagged, all 214 of the Wainwrights. Got 5 left. So the next adventure is tomorrow. Actually, we're going
Wow.
back up to the well, same place I was last week when I did Scarfell, Pike, and Ling Mel. We're over the other side of Westwater picking up U Barrow. That'll take me down to 4 remaining. Um, I've got one outlier on its own, Seathwaite Fell. Not Seathwaite Fell, sorry, Bessie Boot in the Southern Fells. That's to walk on its own. And then I've got one last walk, which will be the last 3 in one short 6 mile walk.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent. So
can't
that
wait. I
sounds
can't wait to get them finished, actually.
that'd be
Um,
well, you need to come back on here
yeah, will, yeah.
and
Yeah.
update us so that's a
It should be,
we'll set something up for that.
yeah, it should be
But
very soon, actually. I hope to certainly, what are we now? By the back end of September, middle of October, I hope to get them all. I get the last few boxed off. The
excellent.
last walk, I will be planning it to make sure I get good weather. I don't want to be finishing in the clack.
No, no. Well, there we go. That's brilliant, Dave. Great to have you on the first podcast, and hopefully a lot of people have taken a lot of information away
Yeah,
there.
hopefully, yeah. Thank you, and then thanks for
And
inviting me, Steve.
yeah, yeah,
I'm always
sure. We will catch up with you again at some time. But just say thanks very much for everybody for tuning in, watching the podcast, and we'll see you again. Cheers for now.
Cheers, all the best.